It's a matter of opinion. If I'm right, but I'm leaving no for now to go outside, putting shores and obligations on our part.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy, Walls P. Now, today's episode, I didn't want to cover this topic, but I felt like I definitely had to speak on this matter because all this chaos that's going on, it definitely deserved my attention to speak on this matter. If it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button, like, share, and definitely comment on this video. And if you want to follow us on all our social media platforms, the links are in the description. So today's topic, the Texas shooting, the mass shooting by Salvador Ramos. He killed 19 kids and 2 teachers. Prior to doing so, he also shot his grandmother and left her in critical condition. Then took a car, crashed it in a ditch near the school, went into that school, barricaded himself and the victims in a classroom and began shooting them, killing them. Now, while this was going on, a Border Patrol agent heard what was going on and eliminated the threat and was also wounded in the process. Now, the sad part about this, prior to this psychopath going on this killing spree, he purchased his guns on May 17th and on May 20th and also bought 375 rounds. He posted his guns on social media. The boy barely reported to school, and it's also being reported that he was bullied and picked on for the clothes that he wore. Let's look at this video to get a deep dive on this sick individual's mentality.
We're learning chilling new details about the teenager who carried out the Texas massacre. 18-year-old Salvador Ramos posted messages on social media hinting about his evil plans. Wait till tomorrow when this warning and this, kids be scared, along with photos of 2 assault rifles and a high-capacity magazine. The morning of the massacre, he sent this text to a young woman he knew. "You gonna repost my gun pics?" She answered, "What your guns got to do with me?" He replied, "I got a little secret I want to tell you." Texas Governor Greg Abbott revealed 3 chilling Facebook posts.
He said, "I'm going to shoot my grandmother." The second post was, "I shot my grandmother." The third post, maybe less than 15 minutes before arriving at the school, was, "I'm going to shoot an elementary school."
Friends say Ramos was a loner who was bullied at school for a speech impediment and reportedly came from a family troubled by drug addiction. Several months before the massacre, he came to live here with his grandmother, who worked for the school district. He slept on a mattress on the floor.
Joseph Moreno is a neighbor.
Did you know that he had guns?
No, like I say, he had just turned 18 and he went and bought it. And he told this friend of his, look what I got. And the friend said, "Hey bro, what do you need those for?" He says, "Don't worry about it." That was his answer. "Don't worry about
Kind
it."
of gives you chills, doesn't it?
Yes.
Ramos reportedly became obsessed with the video game Call of Duty. School friends told GMA his behavior was increasingly bizarre.
I was gonna start being his friend no more because he was being weird with not only me but a lot of other people.
He had scars on his face, and I remember somebody asking him what happened, are you okay? Because he showed up to school with them and he just straight out told them, with a smile, I did it myself.
Ramos had a fight with his grandmother over failing to graduate. She was shot in the face and is in critical condition. Ramos fled the home in his grandparents' pickup truck, crashing into this gully. Surveillance video shows him running into the school seconds later. The massacre was about to begin.
There's a definition of a true coward. And I hear in the video how they mention how he's getting bullied and everything like that. I'm tired of hearing the excuse of people saying this guy was bullied and all this other stuff. Look, when I was young and I was bullied, you do either 2 things. Either you let the person continue to bully you or you settle it with these. You don't grab a gun and go trying to kill people or kill innocent people. And the people that you went and killed are the people that had absolutely nothing to do with your bullying. That's number 1. Instead of you going to confront the people that are bullying you, you go take it out on innocent children, people that have nothing to do with the situation. I mean, at 18 years old, why would you even have the thought of trying to kill somebody? At 18 years old, I was worried about chasing girls, worried about, playing basketball, socializing, doing fun things, not grabbing guns and going to shoot up an elementary school. Like something is seriously wrong or something was seriously wrong with this kid. Now, a lot of people will ask, why did he go to this elementary school? Like, what's the connection?
He came to live here with his grandmother, who worked for the school district.
Ramos had a fight with his grandmother over failing to graduate. She was shot in the face and is in critical condition.
When he was arguing with the grandmother about graduating and he shot her, this is how you know this guy is a sick individual. See, when he shot her and thought he killed her, death was too good for her. I need to take my rage and frustration out even more. I need to take it a step further. So how do you do that? I'm gonna go to the place that she worked. Lo and behold, that's when the man went to that elementary school and did what he did. And about them grandparents, I feel bad for the grandmother. Hopefully she pulls through and survive. But listening to this grandfather speak, those grandparents do not sound like they were fit to be parents. Listen for yourself.
Would he spend a lot of time in his room alone?
Yes. Sometimes he would go, I'd take him to work with me. Not all the time, but I would take him to work.
And it didn't seem like he went to school very often.
No, well, this past year he didn't go to school. He didn't graduate, but he didn't go to school.
Why?
I don't know. You tell them, and they think they know kids nowadays, they know everything.
Did you notice that he was growing disturbed? Was he becoming upset? Was he any different?
He was very quiet. He was very quiet.
Everybody says he almost didn't talk very much.
No, he didn't talk very much.
Did he talk to you?
Oh, just when we go to work or here or there,
What kind of
very, very, very seldom.
What kind of things would you talk about?
No, we never did have a conversation. Just, I remember he would tell me sometimes. I remember when I was little, I would carry him, and he would tell me things like that.
Why didn't he live with his mother?
They had probably problems or something.
And so it was his birthday last Monday? Turned 18?
Yeah, on the
16th.
On the 16th or something. Yeah, last week I think it was birthday.
Yeah.
My wife took him to Applebee's to eat supper or dinner or whatever. It's a shame.
Did you know that he bought those weapons?
No. Like I say, I don't like weapons. I cannot be around weapons.
Because you have a record.
Yeah.
And it's illegal for you to actually be around.
Yeah, that's right. I cannot be around guns. I hate when I see all the news, all those people that get shot. I'm against all that. I say, why do they let these people buy guns and all that? Those stupid whatever they shoot.
And Rolando, when you heard about the shooting, what did you do? Did you even know that it was your grandson?
No, the neighbor called me. He told me she had been shot. And when I came over here, he told me that he had taken off on the...
And your grandson didn't have a driver's license, right?
No.
He didn't even know how to drive.
No.
What went through your mind when you heard?
I didn't say
your
nothing.
grandson?
It still hasn't sunk in yet, you believe me.
And so, did he ever talk about guns or weapons with you? Did he talk about being upset or angry?
No.
Saying it came out of the blue. If you could have done anything differently, would you have done?
I didn't know he had weapons or nothing or this or that there. If I would have known, I would have reported him.
You would have reported your own grandson?
Yes. Because I'm against all that.
Ladies and gentlemen, does that sound like people who are fit to be parents? He's not going to school. You just let him not go to school. You don't put your foot down and make sure that he goes to school. You didn't find school important enough. You found it important enough to take him to work with you time by time, which basically set up this killing spree. You took him to work with you time by time, but you didn't find it relevant to make him go to school. See, by you taking him to work, that helped him get the money, save up enough money to purchase these guns. So I'm sorry, they should be held accountable too. Because to my knowledge, if your kids are supposed to be in school and they're not, isn't there some type of penalty or something like that? Because it is that child's job to make sure they go to school and finish school. Granted, I understand he just turned 18, but prior to that, it was their duty to make sure that boy attends to school. He was not 18 years old yet. So I believe they should be held accountable as well. The next person I have the problem with is the lawmakers.
Since we left shoot-around, 14 children were killed 400 miles from here, and a teacher. And in the last 10 days, we've had elderly black people killed in a supermarket in Buffalo. We've had Asian churchgoers killed in Southern California. And now we have children murdered at school. When are we going to do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of I'm sorry. I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough. There's 50 senators right now who refuse to vote on H.R. 8, which is a background check rule that the House passed a couple years ago. It's been sitting there for 2 years. And there's a reason they won't vote on it, to hold on to power. So I ask you, Mitch McConnell, I ask all of you senators who refuse to do anything about the violence and school shootings and supermarket shootings, I ask you, are you going to put your own desire for power ahead of the lives of our children and our elderly and our churchgoers? Because that's what it looks like. It's what we do every week. So I'm fed up. I've had enough. We're going to play the game tonight, but I want every person here, every person listening to this to think about your own child or grandchild or mother or father or sister, brother. How would you feel if this happened to you today? We can't get numb to this. We can't sit here and just read about it and go, well, let's have a moment of silence. Yeah, go Dubs, you know. Come on, Mavs, let's go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go play a basketball game. And 50 senators in Washington are going to hold us hostage. Do you realize that 90% of Americans, regardless of political party, want background check, universal background check? 90% of us, we are being held hostage by 50 senators in Washington who refuse to even put it to a vote, despite what we, the American people, want. They won't vote on it because they want to hold on to their own power. It's pathetic. I've had enough.
Let's look at the reality of this situation. At 18 years old, you're old enough to go buy guns, assault rifles, so to speak, but you're not old enough to buy beer. Like, does that compute to you guys? And the crazy thing about it is that more states are making it easier for people to buy guns. Even Texas itself is making it easier for people to get guns. You don't need no training to get the guns anymore. You can get it as young as 18, and more states are indoctrinating this carry a gun, and they're starting to do away with, you not needing a license to have a gun. Like, it's ridiculous. You should be able to set up training before you got to get a gun, a lot of different proper channels in order for you to get a gun. And also, you should be doing background checks. A lot of states, you don't need a background check, or they're not doing background checks when these people are electing to go buy these guns. And I don't see why you need to sell these AK-47s or these assault rifle type heavy artillery guns where the police don't even carry these guns on their everyday patrolling. That makes absolutely no sense to me. The way I see it, the way the laws is set up right now, you're basically advocating for these psychopaths to be able to get hold of guns and go on these mass killing sprees. And that's why you see so much mass shootings and killing sprees going on as of late. I mean, think about it. You mix drugs with carrying a gun, the feeling of detachment, the right type of music. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster. And don't tell me that music don't play a role, especially when it comes to children. I know some people argue rock and roll, heavy metal, other genres talk about violence. Well, let me ask you, what type of music do you hear in everything? When it comes to advertising, commercials, the whole nine, you hear hip hop music. And who are the biggest consumers? Black people. So if your biggest consumers are Black people, what you're going to try and market, you're going to try and market to those people because they're the biggest consumers. That's why when you look at commercials, you hear halftime shows, the whole nine. What do you hear? Hip hop music. And we all know with hip hop music, what does it promote? Violence. I remember when I was in high school and Biggie's double CD just came out, and we was listening to Sky's the Limit in class. Look, people are going to ask, how was you listening to this in class? Look, I carried a boombox when I was younger. I had it in my book bag. That's another story for another day. But those that know me know I always carried a boombox around. So we're in class listening to Sky's the Limit. And the one line that Biggie said was, "My orange box cutter make the world go round." And while we were listening to that song, one of my classmates literally pulled out the box cutter and was singing the words to the lyrics and then put it back in his pocket. I remember when Jay-Z had a video, I don't remember what song it was, but he had a yo-yo in the video. The next day, everybody in the school was carrying yo-yos and playing with yo-yos. I remember Old Dirty Bastard in his video. Again, I don't remember what song it was, but he had sunglasses on with one of the lens popped out. The next day, you saw students rocking those same type of glasses. So don't tell me that these song lyrics don't play a role in these kids' lives, because it kind of brainwashed thinking, oh, this is what's cool. So when you hear music about grabbing your gun and shooting people, all this stuff, what do you think these children are going to think is cool to do? As an adult, yeah, you have the understanding, but as a child, especially a detached child, what do you think it's going to do to that child's psyche? Now, I want to say my condolences to the family. When you drop your kids off at school, in your mind, that's a safe haven for those children. Yeah, I understand your child may be mischievous. They may get into a fight. They may even do something that may ultimately get them suspended. But you would never think, never in a million years, that your children would wind up dead, shot up. You never think dropping them off that morning, that's going to be the last time that you see your child. So my heart goes out to the family members who lost their children or lost these teachers, and you have every right to be mad.
The way they politicize guns and violence led us to this day. I am simply going to say this to the families there. You're going to go through pain. It's not right, and it shouldn't be. You will be okay. You will find a path forward. But for the next bunch of days and weeks, you have to get through this, this horror, because people failed. I'm done. They failed our kids again. Okay, I'm done. I've had it. You know, how many more times? This was predictable, but it was also preventable. Sadly, the next one that's going to happen is also predictable if we keep doing nothing.
And another thing that I want to point out is us as parents, we need to teach our children to identify bad behavior and report it. Because all you saw through that video clip was a lot of students saying they saw the bad behavior of the student buying these guns. They're asking, what do you need these guns for? His cryptic social media posts basically giving a warning of what he was going to do. These are things that we as parents need to alert our child or our children, to alert the proper people, whether it's the authorities, an adult figure. Alert them when you see suspicious activities by a fellow classmate. Don't hold it in. Don't just toss it to the side like, oh yeah, that's just talk. No, we need to teach them to alert these types of behaviors and actions, because if these students would have alerted the proper people, this could have been avoided. And if those grandparents would have saw the telltale signs and got him the proper counseling he might have needed or the proper help, again, this could have been avoided. Because at the end of the day, the Democrats are too weak to take any actions, and the Republicans are playing on people's emotions, saying this is going to attack our Second Amendment. So we have to take matters into our own hands to educate our children, to make sure they can identify these type of behaviors and report it. And we also need to pay attention to our children to see if there's any change in their behavior, if they're suffering through depression, any type of mental illness, or if they're being bullied at school. These are things that we need to ask our children, try to identify it so that we can get the proper help that they need. Again, my condolences to the family, and hopefully we can catch these heinous acts before they happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I would love to hear your take. Again, if it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button, share it, like it amongst your friends. And if you want to follow us on our other social media platforms, the links are in the description. I'm your boy Walls P. This is Matter of Opinion, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.